Hi, everybody. Logan from Dungeon Class here. I'm joined with Gonzo from Dungeon Class and our two friends, Wally from Wally DM and Fred from How to D&D. Now, today for our Dungeon Masters Roundtable, I thought it'd be really cool to ask these esteemed artists and content creators out here on YouTube about why they initially started their D&D channels. What was their inspiration? Where did it all come from? For me, Gonzo's my dad, so I just kind of got roped into it. Half because I thought it'd be really fun to do, and I love Dungeons and Dragons, and half because he told me to. So
Yeah.
here I am. But Fred, let's start with you. What inspired you to create a Dungeons and Dragons and Pathfinder YouTube channel?
So, around about just over 4 years ago, just before the beginning of 2016, I had been running games in stores for people. I had initially started with Dungeons and Dragons 4E, doing public games in stores, and then we went on to Dungeons and Dragons 5E, and there were no dungeon masters in New Zealand that wanted to touch it with a 10-foot pole, and there's a whole lot of people who wanted to play. So I wound up running far too many games in stores, and then having to run dungeon master workshops in stores to teach dungeon masters how to dungeon master, which is hugely terrifying because often they actually are pretty experienced. They're just not familiar with the rule set. So that was part of what was going on there. But I had to travel so far everywhere, and it was driving me nuts. And I was like, oh, there must be an easier way. And I was like, oh, wait, can I just record a video and just put it up somewhere? And then I don't have to say it again. And every time somebody asked me a question, go watch this video over here. So that was part of the reason why I did it. And because my family were harassing me about getting onto social media, and I thought there must be some way to turn the evilness of social media to good. And so I decided, okay, I will try to make a whole lot of videos that are really simple and easy and demonstrate, actually show you with miniatures and maps and dice how the Dungeons and Dragons 5e rules work, with the hope that it would bloom and that lots of people will watch those videos and it would get really popular and I wouldn't have to keep repeating myself, which was like fantastic if that happened. And I was sort of hoping that it would help make Dungeons and Dragons like so popular you would see it sitting beside the board game Monopoly or Snakes and Ladders. So I guess that was my rationale, was like, I don't want to keep explaining myself.
Yeah, I mean
That's
that's
good.
awesome, and you definitely have taught a lot of people about Dungeons and Dragons, including this guy over here, and who
Yeah.
taught me, and yeah, so you've definitely contributed to the society of D&D, and I was just at Target the other day, and back in the game aisle, they actually do have the little Minds of Fandelver D&D starter kit, um, in with the other games with Monopoly, Snakes and Ladders, and all that stuff. Snakes and Ladders, is that a game? Oh,
Shoots and
Snakes and
ladders.
Ladders.
Shoots
Shoots
and
and
ladders in
Ladders.
America.
Snakes
Yeah,
and Ladders
snakes and
sounds
ladders are
way
us.
cooler.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, Gonzo, the Quiziteer. What? Why?
I
Why
don't know.
Gonzo the Quiziteer?
Since I'm being quizzed or
All
doing
right.
the quizzing. Yeah.
Well, riddle me this,
Yeah.
Master Quizler.
Right.
Uh, what made you want to start your D&D YouTube channel?
So that's interesting. I'd say two things. One was we the way I learned the game the best when I was learning fifth edition when it had come out. I had the player's handbook and the DM's guide and monster manual because I always get those, and I was reading through it. But the easiest way for me to learn was to watch someone else play or see it kind of done in front of me. And I found channels on YouTube like Fred from How to D&D and Wally DM, where they actually explained how to do certain things, including combat and whatever. And so I thought that was, for me, it was just great because it helped me learn really quick. I could dive into the game with confidence and run my first campaign in fifth edition years ago, and I loved it. I loved it. And then the second thing was um, I do enjoy the game a lot, and I enjoy, more importantly, it isn't actually the game, but watching how everyone around the table, especially if you do a long running campaign with a group of people over time, watching them evolve and be more creative over time. Like they may start out a certain way if they're new to D&D, but they usually don't end up the same way. And that could be good or bad, but you can just see people's creativity come out in the way that they play and the voices that they do and the classes that they pick. And I really enjoyed that. I enjoy that because I see them having fun. And anytime you're doing anything with a group of people that you maybe know well or maybe not know so well, but you're having fun together, that's a good thing. And I wanted other people, from families to groups of longtime friends to people who just met, to be able to enjoy the same thing. And Mark and I said, why don't we do that too and share our little bit of thoughts and whatever. And I do have a third thing, and that really, this is what I've come to learn from doing a D&D YouTube channel, is that what I really enjoy is connecting with other people around the globe who enjoy the same hobby, including right here in our panel today. It's just been the funnest part for me about doing the D&D YouTube thing, is just having that interaction with the fans and the people within the comments and the other creators and within Discord and Facebook and all of those things, and being able to interact and discuss ideas and discuss things that we enjoy or things we disagree on. So those three things are kind of why. The third I didn't know would be a thing, but it really has become pretty prominent for me. Why Mark and I started Dungeon Class, and we've enjoyed it so far, to the point that you and Mark are going to be running games at a convention here, a Comic-Con in Florida at the end of the month, and we've been invited to do panels and all kinds of stuff, which is new to us, but it's more fun, and we're again able to communicate and connect with other people who enjoy similar likes. So
yeah, and yeah, Dungeon Class has been a lot of fun. It's definitely been a very unexpectedly kind of a more like official thing. I honestly at first I kind of thought like, yeah, this would be like a fun hobby to keep
it's a lot of work.
Dad busy, but it's work, and it's cool, and it's really it is really satisfying, really gratifying to be able to interact with lots of different people, and whether it's just in the comment section, like all of our friends that leave different advice or tips or questions, or getting to do things like this roundtable. I agree. That's it's so cool.
Hard to beat.
It's just more people play D&D with, so win-win.
For sure.
All right. Wally DM, grand finale. If you don't have fireworks or anything, I'm be kind of disappointed. But
prestidigitation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what made you initially want to start your YouTube channel?
Tell you the truth, I probably really shouldn't even be here. It was by a matter of chance. I played D&D a lot in the 80s and 90s, and I ran a lot of old school AD&D with traps and puzzles and random monsters in every room, and I enjoyed it. And I got to a point in my life where I couldn't fit it into what I did every day. I put it up for 15 years. Got back into it in 2016 through the way of Pathfinder, through a mutual friend, and my kids were grown, so I had a little bit more time. I was working 2 or 3 jobs beforehand. I was able to go back down to 1 job, so I had a little bit of extra time. I got into Pathfinder, and I found that the best way to learn how to play Pathfinder, because it is so rules intensive, was through YouTube. And I started watching YouTube channels, and I learned how to play it. And then I stumbled across a couple of puzzle videos that were out on YouTube. And I was watching, and I was just like, I've got ideas like that. So they just put their ideas out there. So I created my account. And on March 1st, 2016, I uploaded my very first puzzle video. 2 days later, number 2. A few days after that, number 3. And then I recorded 2 more that I periodically released like a week later and 2 weeks later. And I thought I was going to be done. I thought, okay, this is cool. So YouTube is just for sharing some things. These were 5 of my puzzle ideas. I just started playing Pathfinder. I was actually running these in a campaign that I was going to play. I was like, okay, cool. I shared them. And then I got a few likes and a few comments and a few subscribers. I was just like, okay, this is cool. People like it.
Mhm.
And then so I was like, what other puzzles can I do? What other content can I do? And it started to snowball from that, because what a lot of folks don't know is, as punishing as content creation can be, whether you're a blogger or a YouTuber or a podcaster or whatever it soaks up so much of your time. You're putting yourself and your ideas out there for other people to either agree with you or to disagree with you. And but it's addictive. And that's what I found with me is I got addicted to it. I put those first 5 puzzle videos out there, and the fact that I was getting this interaction rather than just my local play group of my brother and a few other people who live down the road. I've got people from all over the United States, all over the world that are like tuning in, and my subscriber count's starting to climb. And it's just like, I just want to keep doing this. The interaction, like you said, Gonzo, the interaction with folks from around the world that I never would have dreamed. 16-year-old me running basic Dungeons and Dragons out of the red box in the 1980s would have never ever thought that this would happen. I wouldn't tell anybody that I played D&D back then, because my head would be stuck in a toilet, because that's the way that nerds were treated in the 80s, is you kept it low and undercover. But the fact that it became popular, and the fact that I could put my ideas out in front of people without being afraid of what other people are going to think, was absolutely amazing. And the fact that I'm still here today is both a blessing and a little bit because of my addictive personality, probably, because I just love the interaction, and I wouldn't change anything. I absolutely love it. And as a side note, I played Pathfinder for 1 year, and at the end of 2016, beginning of 2017, I disliked Pathfinder because it's so crunchy and there's so much to learn. And, coming from basic Dungeons and Dragons, skipping 3rd and 4th and all that, and coming to that, I was just like, whoa, what is this? And then I found 5th edition, and then I found channels like Fred, where he taught me how to play D&D, and it was all over from there. And here I still am.
Yeah. That little comment about Pathfinder is gonna get this video torn up, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, and honestly, there's nothing at all wrong with Pathfinder, but I'm old. And not to say that old people don't play Pathfinder. Boy, I'm just burying myself, ain't I? The Pathfinder First Edition, I played basic D&D where we only had 3 alignments, and if you were an elf, that was actually a class. So it was.
That's right. That's right.
There was
Dwarf.
a lot. There was a
Mhm.
lot coming from basic D&D to Pathfinder,
Mhm.
and it was just so complicated, so crunchy. I just wanted to relax, have fun, put my firearm on the table, have a few drinks,
Right.
and just have a good time. And that's where 5th edition came in for me. And being able to share my puzzle ideas with everyone, I enjoy it. I love it
Mhm.
tremendously.
yeah. And who would have thought, like on the shelf right behind you, you'd have a book out with different kinds of puzzles encounters that people like Gonzo would use to terrify
Yes.
and torment their players.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely, yeah.
so,
And
so well done, sir.
yeah, a best-selling book just because I wanted to share a few ideas, and the way that I thought I would share them was to make a few YouTube videos, which, by the way, are absolutely terrible. If you go back and watch them and compare my old videos to what I do today, just like, wow, people like that. All right.
Yeah.
Great
No.
stuff.
Well, thanks for sticking through those terrible first videos and getting to what you do now, because
Yeah.
I mean, for you and for Fred, like they're some of Dungeon Class, they're some of our personal favorite channels.
Mhm.
And I just think it's so cool. We get to do these roundtables, and me, the whippersnapper in the group with all my hair left, by the way.
Yeah. Show
I
off
get to-
once again.
I get to learn from you guys, and I kind of
Wisdom.
get to, I get to soak in all the.
There's our thumbnail right there.
Experience.
Here's our thumbnail picture.
Boom.
Yay.
That's a rare animal. Fred without his hat.
That would be a video. Fred Wheeler, unhatted.
Spotted.
Yeah. Spotted without the hat.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you so much, guys. This has been a real treat, especially for me. I'm so glad to hear about how you guys got to start YouTube channels. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think of Dungeon Class, of Fred, of Wally, and let us know about other awesome YouTube channels out there. I mean, just like you guys, we're all fans. We're all people who love the
Mhm.
game and are looking for more people to learn from and to play with. So give us some recommendations of some of your favorite YouTube channels. And if you love our stuff, check out How to D&D, check out Wally DM, check out Dungeon Class, look at our old terrible videos and let us know how they are compared to now. And if you love it, like it, subscribe. If not,
Do it anyway.
yeah, just do it anyway. I dare you. I double dog dare you. Okay. With that, class dismissed.
Class dismissed. Yeah.